1. The illusion of control. Many of us spend a great deal of energy trying to control every part of our lives. We think that if we plan enough, predict enough, and manage every detail, we can avoid discomfort or unexpected challenges. But the truth is, much of life will always remain outside of our control. Circumstances change, people make their own choices, and the future unfolds in ways we cannot fully design. This constant attempt to control everything often leads to stress and disappointment. We confuse control with safety, but in reality, the more we try to hold on tightly, the more unsettled we feel when things do not go according to plan. What feels like preparation is often just fear in disguise, the Stoic philosophers reminded us that peace comes not from controlling events, but from controlling our response to them. When we stop clinging to the idea that we can shape every outcome, we create space to focus on what truly matters: our actions and our state of mind. Letting go of unnecessary control does not mean giving up. It means learning to live with clarity and balance, allowing life to flow as it will, while we remain steady within ourselves. To true power lies within. It is natural to believe that power comes from controlling the world around us, our careers, our relationships, or even the opinions of others. But the Stoic philosophers taught a different perspective. They explained that the only lasting form of strength is the ability to govern our own mind. Marcus Aurelius, Roman emperor, carried the responsibility of ruling an empire. Yet even he understood that the only kingdom he could fully command was his own thoughts and actions. His reminder was simple: you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This teaching points us back to the source of real stability. External things are temporary, they shift, change, or disappear. But our ability to choose our response, to think clearly, and to act according to our values is always within reach. When we learn to direct our energy inward rather than outward, we stop being dependent on circumstances. We may not be able to avoid every difficulty, but we can meet it with patience, reason, and calm. That is the kind of strength no situation can take away, because it is rooted in who we are, not in what happens around us. 3. Accepting uncertainty. One of the greatest sources of stress in life comes from our desire to know exactly how things will turn out. We want certainty in our plans, our relationships, and our future. But no matter how much we prepare, life will always contain the unknown. Change is constant, and outcomes are never fully within our control. The Stoics encouraged us to approach this reality with wisdom rather than fear. Accepting uncertainty does not mean being passive or careless. It means understanding that while we can make good decisions and take thoughtful actions, the results may still be different from what we hoped for. When we let go of the need for everything to be predictable, we create more room for peace. We stop fighting against life's natural unpredictability and instead learn to meet it with resilience. This shift allows us to focus on what is within our influence, our mindset, our effort, and our values without being weighed down by what we cannot change. Uncertainty is not an enemy to be defeated. It is simply part of life. By accepting it, we develop flexibility and strength, and we become better prepared to handle whatever comes our way. For focus on what you can control, a central idea in Stoic philosophy is the distinction between what is within our control and what is not. Epictetus expressed this clearly: some things are up to us, and some things are not. This simple truth can guide us toward a calmer, more focused life. Often, frustration comes from trying to change things that lie outside of our influence: other people's choices, unexpected events, or the outcome of our efforts. No amount of worry or control can guarantee these results. What we can shape, however, is how we think, how we act, and how we choose to carry ourselves in any situation. When we concentrate on our own character, decisions, and values, we direct our energy to where it has real impact. This shift does not mean ignoring challenges, but rather approaching them with clarity and balance. We cannot control if others approve of us, but we can control whether we act with honesty. We cannot prevent every obstacle, but we can decide how we respond to it by focusing on what is truly within our control. We lighten unnecessary burdens and strengthen the qualities that matter most: courage, integrity, and patience. 5. Strength in alignment with reality. Life is full of change. It's uncertainty in events we do not always expect. Many times we create additional stress by wishing circumstances were different or by resisting the way things unfold. The Stoics encouraged a different approach. Instead of fighting reality, align yourself with it. Strength does not come from demanding that life follow our plans. It comes from learning to adapt with steadiness when those plans change. Strong person is not one who avoids difficulty, but one who remains composed in the middle of it. The ground beneath us may shift, but we can still remain balanced if our foundation is built on values rather than outcomes. To align with reality is not to give up effort, it is to use effort wisely. We prepare, we act with care, and we remain true to our principles, but we also accept that results are not fully in our control. This mindset reduces frustration and builds resilience. The storm may come, but we do not have to collapse with it. By adjusting to life as it is, rather than how we wish it to be, we find a deeper form of strength, steady, calm, and reliable. 6. Freedom through letting go. Much of our stress comes from trying to hold on to things that are not truly within our control: other people's opinions, the outcomes of our plans, or the direction of events around us. The more tightly we cling, the more energy we lose, often without changing anything at all. Letting go does not mean we stop caring or stop putting in effort. It means we choose to release the need to control what is not ours to control. When we do this, we free our attention for what truly matters: our choices, our growth, and our values. This kind of letting go creates space for peace. Instead of being pulled in many directions by external demands, we become centered within ourselves. We learn to act with integrity without needing a guaranteed outcome. We learn to engage with others sincerely without trying to manage how they see us. The freedom that comes from letting go is not about losing strength, but about using it wisely. It allows us to stop exhausting ourselves with the impossible and start investing in what we can influence: our character, our actions, and the way we respond to life. 7. Redefining power. Many people believe that power comes from control, force, or the ability to make others follow their will. But the Stoics taught a very different idea. They explained that real power is not about dominating others or shaping every outcome. Instead, it is about mastering ourselves and living in alignment with our principles. True power shows itself in patience, calm thinking, and steady action. A person who can remain balanced during difficulty has far more strength than someone who reacts with anger or fear. Leadership, too, is not about forcing others, but about setting an example. People are more likely to respect someone who acts with fairness and integrity than someone who relies only on authority. When we redefine power in this way, it becomes something stable and lasting. External power, status, possessions, or influence can be lost at any time. But the inner power of discipline, clarity, and resilience stays with us, no matter what happens. The Stoics remind us that security comes from knowing we can handle life as it comes, not from trying to make it easy or predictable. In this sense, real power is quiet, steady, and deeply rooted within. 8. Mastery of self. The ultimate lesson in Stoic philosophy is that real strength comes from mastering ourselves. We cannot control the world, other people, or every outcome, but we can always guide our own choices, thoughts, and actions. This is where lasting stability is found. Mastery of self begins with clarity, knowing what values matter most, and choosing to live by them. It continues with discipline, the ability to act according to those values, even when circumstances are difficult. And it grows through resilience, the capacity to recover when life does not go as planned. This kind of mastery does not require perfection. It requires consistency. Each day gives us a chance to decide how we will respond, with patience instead of frustration, with honesty instead of avoidance, with courage instead of hesitation. The more often we make these choices, the stronger our character becomes. When we focus on self-mastery, we no longer depend on the outside world to keep us steady. Success or failure, approval or criticism, comfort or hardship, none of these change who we are at the core. By mastering ourselves, we build a foundation that remains firm through change, giving us true peace and strength.